Let's show what happens using some graphs. And the two graphs we're going to use are going to be a pair of side-by-side graphs. On the left side, I'm going to put the quantity and price for the market or the industry. Call this the market. The market supply and demand determine the equilibrium price and quantity of the good. Let's just suppose that right now the price is $20, and this would be a big quantity here. It'd be 50 million or something like that. All right. Well, beside that, I'm going to measure the. I'm going to put the curves. I'm going to put the curves for a firm. Well, I know if the market price is 20, that means the demand curve facing the firm is a horizontal line at 20, and that demand curve is also its marginal revenue curve. Let's suppose right now that the firm is earning an economic profit. Well, that means that the price the firm is charging is higher than its minimum average total cost. Let's say the minimum average total cost is something like 15. All right. And marginal cost got to pass through that minimum. Not drawn very accurately, but that's okay. There's marginal cost. All right. So what's going to happen here is right now the firm will maximize profit by producing, let's say that's 100. And let's say that the minimum average total cost is like 80. So right now the firm has got a price of 20 that's higher than its current average total cost, which is something like $16. Economic profit exists. This profit will attract entry into the market. As entry occurs and more firms enter the market, the supply curve will begin to increase. And as supply increases, that's going to push down on price, and price will continue to fall until economic profit is squeezed to zero. Well, economic profit gets squeezed to zero when the price equals that minimum average total cost. D equals MR, put little primes over that. There's 15 to be right there. 15, so the supply curve's got to shift all the way over until the new equilibrium price is $15 in the market. That means the firm now maximizes profit by producing 80 units of output. 80 makes price equal marginal cost. 80 also makes profit equal zero. No more reason for firms to enter the market exist. We've now reached a position of a long-run equilibrium. All right, now let's look at what happens if the firm is suffering economic loss. Again, I'll start with the supply and demand graph for the market. That's a Q. That's price. This is for the market. Got a demand curve, a supply curve. Let's keep this still at 25. I'll make it 25. I guess it's going to be a big number, 50 million. Now the graph for the firm, I'll put on this beside it. Let's say firms are suffering loss. So let's say that the minimum average total cost is up here somewhere, ATC. Let's say the minimum average total cost occurs when quantity, we'll get and keep it at 80. And but now the minimum average total cost is something like $35. We'll draw a marginal cost curve coming through there. If the market price is 25, the firm faces a marginal revenue curve, a demand curve that's horizontal at 25. And in this case, it'll maximize profit by producing maybe 60 units of output. So we'll assume price is above average cost. So the firm does want to produce. All right, firm suffering a loss because its price is lower than its average total cost. Average total cost is something like $36. Well, that's going to induce exit out of the market. As firms begin to exit, the supply curve will shift to the left. That leftward shift will start making price go up. As price goes up, the demand begins to shift upwards. And price will continue to rise until profits return to zero. Profits return to zero when price finally reaches $35. D prime equals MR prime. So the supply curve's got to shift over enough to make the new equilibrium price rise to 35. At that point, the firm maximizes profit by producing 80 units of output, and its economic profit equals 0, so no more reason for firms to enter or exit the market exists.